Hello everyone, my name is Lady Marlina and I'm going to talk to you today about genre in academic writing. Genre in academic writing. Are you ready to listen? Okay, here we go. What is genre? Genre is the style or category that your text fits into, and different genres have different structures and conventions. These lessons will teach you how to differentiate among three different genres. Specifically, we are going to look at a report, an essay, and a thesis. And this lesson will also teach you to decide which genre is most appropriate for your text that you need to write. There are two questions that we'll start with. First, which genre is appropriate for your text? Second, which genre should you choose? You may already know the answer to these questions because you may have been assigned to write a text in a specific genre by your teacher or professor, but you may not be sure exactly what goes into that genre. You may also have to decide which genre to choose based on the goals of your text. There are some questions to ask yourself, such as, what is the purpose of this text? Are you trying to convince your reader of something, or to analyze a problem or existing research? What is your topic? Are you looking at a question that you like to answer, a case study, a project that you work on, original research you conducted? Next questions. Who is your intended audience? Who is ultimately going to read your text? Is it your professor or your colleagues or the public in general? What structures do you need to follow? Do you know already that you have requirements in terms of format, or do you need to include certain sections? Next questions are, do you need to have headings? How long does your text need to be? These are all important things to know the answers to before you sit down to begin writing. Let's look specifically at three different genres. Essays, reports, and theses differ in four key ways. They have different purposes, different topics, different audience, and different structures. Let's go through the purpose, topics, audience, and structures for each genre. First, for an essay. The purpose of essay is to criticize, or argue, or respond to a given subject. So this is going to possibly have a lot to do with your own personal opinion. You want to make a claim about a certain point and use the text to argue that point. A report is going to be much more objective. It doesn't really have anything to do with your opinion at all. You just want to investigate or analyze a situation based on the facts available. For a thesis, it's usually going to be a much longer paper, and it's going to be presenting and analyzing original research that you have done, whether that's practical or theoretical research. And of course, the broader purpose is usually to end your studies for your degree. Now we come to the topic. The topic of an essay is going to be a question or a proposition. If you're writing an essay, you wanna express a new perspective on an issue that already exists. How can you add the conversation about this broader topic? For a report, you are usually looking at a problem or a case study. So you often see reports in the business world. You're looking at a company or a project that has been worked on in the past. This could be a real world. It could be an existing problem or a case study, or completely hypothetical. For a thesis, your topic will be an original project. So original research you have conducted, a study you have designed, or an experiment you created, or possibly a research questions that you are striving to answer looking at existing research. For an essay, your audience is going to be possibly professors, editors, or the general public. If you want to have, if you want to have your essay published, of course. These people may or may not be familiar with your topic. It is very much dependent on the specific essay. So be aware of how much about this topic your readers are likely to know. For a report, you are likely to be writing for an academic or business purpose. So your audience will likely to be your professors or your boss or the people you work with. They probably are familiar with your topic, so you should not just start at the very beginning, explaining what you're talking about. Meanwhile, for a thesis, of course, the audience at the beginning is going to be your professors or your supervisors who will read and grade your thesis. Later, perhaps you want to get it published, and then you have to consider editors and the general public. You should assume that they are familiar with your topic, but that doesn't mean that they are experts in your topic. So you should imagine that this is somebody who knows your field, but maybe they don't know the specific topic that you are addressing in your thesis. Now for an essay, the structure is going to be a clear thesis statement where you make the claim that you want to prove or argue in the text. And the rest of the text will be body paragraphs with examples to support your thesis statement. For a report, there are usually clearly defined sections, subsections, and headlines that you need to put into the report. Often this will be provided for you when you begin to write. The main difference between the thesis and the other genres is that a thesis is very long, usually over 50 pages, maybe even quite a bit longer than that. The content differs widely depending on your field. We will talk about some common sections that belong to a thesis later in other presentations. Well, that's the difference between some types of academic and writing in relation to the genre of academic writing. We can conclude that in academic writing, there are a report, essay, and a thesis. And each of these writing will have its own challenges. So keep spirit and keep learning. Thank you very much for watching and listening. See you again in the next presentation. Have a great day.